One of the things you can always depend on, this is one of the truths of the universe. And you heard it first from here, whatever we decide we want to do is what we do. Let me be the first to tell you, drinking alcohol is the worst thing to do in cold weather. Hot soup is the best because the process of digesting food helps to warm you up. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history. Dr. Martin Luther King is not a black hero. He is an American hero. People need to start to think about the messages that they send in the movies. How are we going to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. Learning how to be still, to really be still and let life happen, that stillness becomes a radiance. How do we change the world? One random act of kindness at a time. When you have made your choice, it is Providence that is your guide. Good, bad, or indifferent. Your fate lies in that. Attacking people with disabilities is the lowest display of power I can think of. In the harshest place on earth, love finds a way. The best way to confront, or deal with, technological innovation is to keep moving technologically. Literacy could be the ladder out of poverty. I always tell my kids if you lay down, people will step over you. But if you keep scrambling, if you keep going, someone will always give you a hand. Always. But you gotta keep dancing, you gotta keep your feet moving. You measure yourself by the people who measure themselves by you. The highest power is the human mind. That's where God came from, and my belief in God is my belief in myself. Still, it can be more effective to accomplish what you need to accomplish with the minimum effort. Watch Anthony Hopkins. He doesn't appear to be doing anything. He is so still that you can't see him working, but you are drawn into his character through his very stillness. Once you've gotten the job, there's nothing to it. If you're an actor, you're an actor. Doing it is not the hard part. The hard part is getting to do it. I do know there are a lot of people who seem to be in my corner, and that's, of course, wonderful. I'm really more interested in the nomination than in the award, because I think the nomination just puts you within a group of outstanding actors. People hear that and say I'm being modest. But I am not a modest person, but I have to be truthful about what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is channeling. Never let pride be your guiding principle. Let your accomplishments speak for you. Don't be different just for difference sake. If you see it differently, function that way. Follow your own muse, always. If you live a life of make-believe, your life isn't worth anything until you do something that does challenge your reality. If you dream, you've got to dream that it's going to happen. Remember that. If you dream, you have to imagine that it will actually happen. Finding joy is probably tantamount to finding yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. Stage is really hard work. You've got to do it every night. Not like doing it once and walking away. I am God. So it's easy to play Him. They say God is in all things. So if God is in me, then I am in God. Therefore, I am God. God does not exist without me. Challenge yourself, it's the only path which leads to growth. As you grow in this business, you learn how to do more with less. I'm not intimidated by lead roles. I'm better in them. I don't feel pressure. I feel released at times like that. That's what I'm born to do. The accident was a horrible thing, but that horrible thing made Chris, at the end of his life, Superman. It's a happy irony if there is such a thing. I'm proud to have known him. You know, the ancient Egyptians had a beautiful belief about death. When their souls got to the entrance to heaven, the guards asked 2 questions. Their answers determined whether they were able to enter or not. Have you found joy in your life? Has your life brought joy to others? As long as you feel like a victim, you are one. Fatigue, discomfort, discouragement are merely symptoms of effort. I once heard a wise man say there are no perfect men. Only perfect intentions. If you wake up and the snow is knee-deep outside, you are not filled with rage. It's just something that you've got to cope with. If you're living in a situation, it's the only situation that you know, and you've got to deal with it. The trick to any profession is making it look easy. Don't be afraid of what you want. This is your time. The barriers are down. All you have to do is believe, then you will see everything. If you want to see a miracle, be the miracle. There are things that I would like to do, but I make a big distinction between liking to do something and wanting to do something. If there's something that I want to do, I've done it. If there's something that comes up that I want to do, I will do it. I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up, does rejoice. If you think about the very nature of life, I mean, on the very beginning, the development of the first cell divided into two cells. The sole purpose of life has been to pass on what was learned. I find I'm so excited, I can barely sit still or hold a thought in my head. I think it's the excitement only a free man can feel, a free man at the start of a long journey whose conclusion is uncertain. I hope I can make it across the border. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. Every man has his breaking point. The day I am afraid to do that is the day I am no longer to lead. Rugby is a very rough game, almost as rough as politics.